Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Parr, and on this episode of Math Up to Par, we are going to talk about adding whole numbers. All right, so here are our rules for adding numbers. When we add, we are finding the sum, S-U-M, sum. Sum is the word for the answer to an addition problem, and difference is the word for an answer to a subtraction problem. The way I remember it is the word add has 3 letters and the word sum has 3 letters. So when you're finding the sum, you're going to start by lining up your numbers so that the ones digits match up. That is why it is so important to know your place values, because your place values need to be lined up. Then you're going to add the digits from right to left, starting with the ones place, so it's the opposite direction of the way you read. If the digits add up to a value greater than 10, you need to write the ones place at the bottom and carry the tens place over to the next digit. You're going to continue this until you have added the entire number. Okay, let's practice. We're going to use a little chart to help us understand what we are doing. Okay, so I have taken this number right here and this number right here, and I am finding the sum, which means I am finding the answer to an addition problem. I take these and I stack them up. This number has 5 digits, this number only has 4, but I made sure to line up the place values so that I'm adding the right places. So when I'm looking at the ones place, I see 5 ones here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I see 7 ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Over here in the tens place, I have 1 tens in my top number, and I have 3 tens in my bottom number. In my hundreds place, I have 3 hundreds in my top number, and I have 9 hundreds in my bottom number. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. In my thousands place, I have 2 thousands in my top number, and I have 5 thousands in my bottom number. And then I have 1 10,000 in my top number, and I have no 10,000s in my bottom number. So when I'm adding my ones place, I'm adding 5 plus 7. Well, 5 plus 7 is equal to 12, okay? So typically what you see is 5 plus 7 equals 12. Well, I can't put both digits right here because that would change the place value. So I put the 2 here and I bring the 1 up here. But why am I doing that? Is it just magically moving numbers around? No, that's because over here, when I put them together, let me draw a line underneath of this so that you can see. All right, so when I put these together, I get 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 10 of these ones and I'm changing them into another 10. So I'm taking them from here and I'm putting them over here. So that's why I carry my 1 over here. So now when I'm adding, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing over here. 3 plus 1 plus another 1 is equal to 5. I have nothing to carry over here, so I don't have to. My next, I have 3 plus 9. Well, 3 plus 9 is equal to 12. I can count 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have my 2 at the bottom. Oh, let me change my color. I have my 2 at the bottom, and I carry my 1. It looks the same over here. I have 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And over here in my blue, I forgot to show this at the bottom, but I have 5 right here because that's the answer that I had over here. So for these, I'm going to take 10 of these hundreds and I'm going to turn them in to 1,000. Okay? So now I add up all my thousands. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing right here. I have 8. And then over here, I just have 1 10,000. So that's 1. That's 1. And then I'm going to put my comma in the right place. And this is my final answer, which is represented right here and over here. 1 in the 10,000s place, 8 in the thousands place, 2 in the hundreds place, 5 in the tens place, and 2 in the ones place. So that chart is just a tool to kind of show you why we do that. Okay, you don't have to use that every time you show your work unless you want to, but it just kind of tells you why. All right, let's try adding this time without a chart, okay? So 6 plus 7, when I add those together, I get 13, okay? So I'm going to take those 3 ones and I'm going to put them down here. But out of 13, I'm going to take 10 of those ones and I'm going to trade it in for 1 10 over here. So now I have 2 10s plus 1 10s plus 1 more 10, so I have 4 10s, nothing to carry over. Next, I have 9 and 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. So I'm going to take 10 of those hundreds and I'm going to turn them into 1,000 to go over the thousands place. And I'm going to keep the 2 hundreds right there. Then I'm going to add 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 1 more is 14. Okay. Then I'm going to take my numbers and I'm going to add 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I am going to take all 10 of those 10,000s, and I'm going to trade them in for 100,000. Okay? And then I add 4 plus 1 and I get 5. And now I have my final answer. 504,243. So a lot of times we need to find the exact answer for something. However, sometimes we just need to have an estimate. We don't always need to know the right exact amount for everything that we do in real life. So when you're estimating a sum, you can solve those problems in 2 different ways. You can round each number first, then you can add the rounded numbers for your answer, or you can solve the addition problem first, then round your answer at the end. If the problem doesn't tell you which place to round to, you're always going to round to the greatest shared place value. So if one number has 4 digits and the other number has 4 digits, you're going to round them both to that biggest 4th digit, which is the thousands place. But if one of those numbers had 6 digits and one of those numbers had 5 digits, you would round both of them to that 5th digit place in the 10,000s place. Okay, so it's the greatest one they have in common. All right, so I'm going to take my numbers and I'm going to round them before. So I'm going to look at my thousands place. They each have 4 digits, so I'm going to round them both to that thousands place, that biggest shared place value. I'm going to look at my 7. My 7 tells my 4 to go up to a 5, so this number rounds to 5,000. Down here, I'm going to look at my thousands place. The 2 tells my 6 to stay the same. So this is going to stay a 6 and everything after changes to zeros. So now I can add these 2 numbers up and I get 11,000 for my estimated answer. That's about how many there are if you put 4,796 together with 6,284. Now let's round after. So I'm going to add 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. I always try to make 10s. If I can find 2 numbers to pair together to make a 10, I'm always going to do it because then it helps counting on. So 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18. All right, 7 plus 1 is 8, and I know that 8 and 2 make 10. And then 6 and 4 make 10, so I found another pair of 10s, plus one more is 11. So this number rounds to 11,080. So because the greatest shared place value was the thousands place, I would take this number and I would round it. I would round it to the thousands place. That 0 tells my 1 to stay the same. So it rounds to 11,000. Okay, so I get the same answer both times. Sometimes you'll get a slightly different answer if you round before or you round after, but most of the time they're very, very close. Okay, so if you want a more exact amount, you can add first and then round. If you need just a more general amount, you can round before. I personally like to round before whenever that's a possibility, because then when I'm adding, I have a lot of zeros that I can add, and adding two zeros together is very, very simple for me to do. There's not one right way to do it. It's the way that works better for you, unless the problem is asking you for something specific. All right, well, that is all I have for us today on our lesson on adding whole numbers with finding the exact answer and estimation. Thanks for listening and happy practicing. Bye.